Hello, what's happening, everybody?
What's up?
Hey, so this is the officially unofficial Geek Channel, What's Happening Wednesday. I am your host, as always, Carrie Quinn, and with me, as always,
What's our Fett?
Joe. So anyways, guys, so what's happening? What's happening here? Well, I'm going to tell you that today we have an unofficial sponsor.
Our sponsor for today is a man known as Jonah Hex.
And right now, I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to take the back seat. And I'm going to give Joe the opportunity to say his piece right now.
I am upset with DC Comics, folks. I am upset. They got 1 million Bat books. They got 1 million Harley Quinn books. They got 1 million Superman books. Maybe 3 or 4 Superman books. Whatever. You know, they got all this stuff. They can give Harley Quinn an anniversary book. And this year is the 50th anniversary of my boy Jonah Hex and nothing. They don't give him nothing. That is some bullshit. Hardcore bullshit. Like, bullshitty shit. Jonah Hex was fucking super big at one time, man. You know, and he had like a really long one with Palmiotti and everything. Oh, I am just super like kind of bummed. Like he's got nothing.
So what's your favorite your favorite writer for Jonah Hex?
Probably Cook back in the 70s.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Did you enjoy the Mr. Lansdale?
Yes, I did, but I
Caveat.
prefer my Jonah Hex not to have supernatural elements in it. I prefer it to be just a straight up Western.
Okay, all right.
And Lansdale put a lot of supernatural elements in his.
So with Gray and Palmiotti,
Which is awesome. Everything I've read, I just had not read a lot of it.
you haven't read.
I'm
all
reading
of
some
it.
more right now, though.
Well, the thing is we didn't even realize this, guys. I'm gonna jump in for some color commentary here. We didn't even realize this was a thing this year. It wasn't even on our radar. But I follow, and I believe you follow him as well, on Twitter, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jimmy Palmiotti, which not a lot of people know him as being the dude that drew Jonah Hex.
Yeah.
For a good length of time.
He wrote some of it, too.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, the man can draw, okay? The man can write. A lot of people, especially people like me being people, know...
You're people, for sure.
Yeah.
Writers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have a book sitting right here, so he just showed me. Mr. Palmiotti, actually, with his wife, Amanda Connor, revolutionized Harley Quinn, starting with the New 52.
Yeah. I forgot he did do that. He did with his wife, that's right.
Yes. While I totally love everything Harley Quinn, we all know this. Good, bad, indifferent, otherwise. I think that one of the things that really kind of just revolutionized Harley Quinn was their work on her, starting the New 52, and it carried over for a while into the Rebirth era. And you have read his work, like we were saying, on Jonah Hex.
Yeah, I've read some of it.
Okay, so here's the thing.
I read the first graphic novel, and I got some of that one, too.
Mr. Palmiotti, he posted today on Twitter that he was celebrating the 50th anniversary of Jonah Hex. So he and also said that he tried to get something going with DC Comics to commemorate the occasion and was turned down. And he encouraged everyone in his, that was following him to express their love for Jonah Hex, of which Joe
James
did.
Gunn did.
James Gunn, guys. Yeah, I wasn't even going to mention that. I totally forgot. You told me earlier, Mr. James Gunn, the James Gunn, not someone that's pretending to be James Gunn. Though, you know what, with Twitter, we
don't
can't
know nowadays.
We can't be so sure.
It's James Gunn, because I follow him.
Okay, all right. We both follow James Gunn. We are pretty gosh darn sure it is James Gunn. It is not a parody account because, well, Twitter. he also posted some of his lovely thoughts involving Jonah Hex as well. So maybe that,
that could be something right there.
That could be something. I don't think it's going to be something right away, but you know what?
Not this year.
In a contract that spans, I think, 4 years.
Yep.
Maybe we can see the start of something there.
Give me a dark, gritty HBO Max freaking series, Jonah Hex. Give me that. Give me that right now.
The fans want it, DC Comics. The fans want it. We were actually talking about earlier today. In all honesty, the story, the mythos of Jonah Hex is probably why they don't want to touch it.
Yeah, it's true.
They don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole, and you can totally understand why, because if you don't know very much about Jonah Hex's origin is that he was a Confederate soldier. And, yeah, I contend that if they actually wanted to touch it, they could probably do a Black Label book and rework his origin to make it more acceptable, but still keep the elements that are well loved about him. However, of course, that's all, a moot point because
they're not doing nothing.
They're not doing anything. So if you are a fan of Jonah Hex, or you're a fan of, just comic history in general, guys, take a look. Take a look at Jonah Hex.
I mean, Jonah Hex is he's a classical hero. He's like, I always thought he was kind of a big deal. I guess not, but.
Admittedly, Joe is really into Westerns.
I do. I like me some spaghetti Westerns, folks.
Yeah.
I like me Westerns, period.
Yeah. Yeah. So, unofficially, the officially unofficial Geek Channel What's Happening Wednesday, brought to you by
Jonah Hex.
Yeah.
Let's get it done, DC. Come on. We need more comics. We need more. Give me an HBO special show.
Or just some freaking variety. The thing is I love Batman. I love Batman.
You know what?
I know
I'll even take a Batlash comic.
Okay.
You don't know it. Batlash is another Western character that Jonah runs around with sometimes.
Yeah. I've heard of the name. But don't know much about the character. I love Batman. Everybody that watches my channel knows gosh darn well that I love Batman.
Yeah, I love Batman too, but man, it's...
This is not only just speaking to the idea that we need more of a variety, but that we need a variety of characters. And it was an opportune time for DC Comics to possibly take a look at one of its one of these characters, legendary characters as Jonah Hex, maybe do a glow up involving him. And it could have been something that could have been something. However, for obvious reasons, I think it's not. And that's unfortunate. It's one of these things where it's like, you see so many Batman titles on the releases every week, okay? And you got to think back to during this 70s where you had the boom at DC Comics, because basically you had Jeanette Kahn come into DC Comics and produce this boom of titles, right? It was around 1978, actually, yes, because one of the things that happened when they were doing this, their goal was to produce so much content.
Yeah, that it would
push. Marvel. Yes, it would push Marvel aside, and all you'd see is DC Comics. You have a ton of different titles that when the blizzard of 78 happened.
Hey, that's what I was born in.
Yeah. when the blizzard of 78 happened, oh dear God, they couldn't get everything around. Like, seriously, take a look-see at some of the stuff that happened, like photos, videos, that kind of thing, of the blizzard of 78. Because, oh boy, things
Anyway,
really
Jonah
shut
Hex.
down. And, but the thing is like, I think that with with this, it's like one of those things where it's like, this is something that actually could at least warrant a one-shot.
Yeah. Just give me like a 50th anniversary one-shot. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, you would treasure it always.
Yeah.
But anyways, we've talked long enough about Jonah Hex. And thank you to, I doubt he'll ever listen to this, but thank you to Mr. Palmody for reminding us and keeping the light on for good old Jonah Hex.
You can tell he really cares about that character.
Yeah. Well, you don't sit there and write and do art for a character for that long without giving a shit about what happens to the character, I think. And because believe me, I mean, I follow him as well, and he's always, talking about
This
how...
isn't the first time I've seen him talk about Jonah Hex.
It's not the first time, it's not the second time, and it's not the third time.
Yeah, I've seen it quite a bit.
He takes a lot of care involving stuff that he's put his stamp on, like Jonah Hex, Harley Quinn, Milestone.
I remember one of the first times that I was like on Twitter, and I just put down, I didn't even tag anybody. I just put down that I was reading Jonah Hex, and I took a picture of the book I was reading, and he liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is definitely somebody that has taken a lot of care in regards to what happens with this character. And hats off to you, sir. Hats off to you. Thank you for not only everything that you've done for Jonah Hex, but everything you've done for my girl, Harley Quinn. Because Harley is where she is now due to your wife and yourself. So... Anyway, so the real reason we're here today, besides our little rant about Jonah Hex, is we're going to be paying homage to one Kevin Conroy.
Rest in peace, man.
If you are into comics and pop culture and you don't know who Kevin Conroy is, get thee to Google, please. If you are around a certain age...
If you're around our age, 43s and so.
Yeah, 40, 41, 42, 43, somewhere in there. You probably rush through your homework each day to watch Batman the Animated Series.
I did.
I sure did. So earlier, late last week on Friday, it was announced that Mr. Conroy had succumbed to cancer. And with the outpouring of support, and also there's a video that I made of Cole and Bearded Comic Bros cover challenge, where I pay homage to Kevin Conroy as well. Check it out if you haven't already. And he's obviously a very, very special person in the community. And what we decided to do, instead of doing the movie with the guy with the turkey head,
which we're still going to watch, because
we're still going to do that. We're still going to see that at some point and tell you about it. We decided that there was a fierce urgency of now we're going to watch Mask of the Phantasm and talk to you about it.
Buddy, that movie is good. I hadn't seen it in years, and I forgot how good it was, but watching it again, that movie is really good. Ditto. Really, that was better than I thought it was. That's my second favorite Batman movie.
And here's the thing. This is when... I made the comment last night. They don't make them like they used to, friends. Okay? They don't make them like they used to. These animated Batman movies. Okay? For real. The Mask of the Phantasm is everything you need it to be.
It is an origin story. It is
a love story.
It's everything.
It is action, adventure, revenge,
Yeah.
everything you need it to be. And it's honestly what I needed the cartoon movie version of Hush to be. And it failed.
I have not watched the cartoon version of
I
Hush.
watched it so you don't have to, and it sucks.
But I love the comic so much, I know that I would never want to watch it.
I did it so that you don't have to, so that y'all don't have to. It sucks. Just read the book. The book is absolutely amazing. But anyways, we are here to talk about Mask of the Phantasm, where we get a little extra special glimpse into, hey, who else besides Selena Kyle is the one that got away?
Yeah.
And the answer is Adriana Beaumont. Not Adriana. Andrea Beaumont. Why did I say Adriana? That was weird. I knew it was Andrea Beaumont. The fabulous redhead. Yeah. So what we've got going on here is, like we said, a love story of love lost, love found again,
It's
lost
told in
again.
two different timelines. Like,
There's like two different timelines, yeah, so it's not horribly confusing.
you got the past, which is a few years in the past, with Bruce and Adriana and
Alfred doesn't have gray hair yet.
Alfred.
I mean, he's bald, right? But he doesn't have gray hair yet. That's the easiest differentiation of the time periods in the movie was, if Alfred's there, is he gray or is he not? So you do have like the flashbacks versus the now, whereas in the flashbacks, this is early enough in Batman's career that it could be like year one kind of stuff, or year zero, where he has not adopted the Bat persona yet. He's still working on that. He you do see him going out at night wearing all black and trying to fight people, and they're not fearing me.
I'm not scared.
Yeah. So one day he goes to visit his parents' grave. Thank you. And he encounters a lovely redhead, Andrea.
Which that's this really weird place to meet a date, but hey, whatever.
Yeah. Well,
It's Bruce Wayne, man.
you know, it's Bruce Wayne. Yeah, I think that's the perfect way to put it, dear, actually. So he meets her because she is visiting her mother's grave. And she's talking to her mother, and he gets confused thinking she might be talking to him. Like, no, dude, not everyone talks to you. But she's a smart ass and gets his attention. And when he doesn't call, she's like, you know what, I'm going to go check out that Bruce Wayne. And she shows up, and he is training, doing martial arts on his lawn, basically. And they have their second, meetup there, and they decide they're going to go out. Now, that's all in the past, right? So, like, the whole reason this gets brought up is because he finds out she's in town.
Yeah.
Now, what does that mean that she's in town? Well, she's in town specifically to see her family's accountant, Arthur Reeves. Okay, that's important. Remember Arthur. But on the same night that Betsy finds out that she's back in town, or on her way back in town, as far as he knows, there's a fight involving a new masked vigilante that starts going after mob bosses.
The mob, see?
Mm-hmm. It comes up, finds them, says that, such and such, your angel of death is here, and they go to kill them.
Yeah.
Okay, and it is like, it's really funny because I mentioned that the Phantasm looks like the Ghost of Christmas Future,
And they say it in the movie.
and then they say it in the movie. Wasn't it that the Joker said it?
Yeah.
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 I think if I remember correctly, the Joker says it. And I'm like, wait, hey, I got that idea first. So the Phantasm is going after all these mob bosses that have this connection to Andrea's father. And Andrea's father was a businessman that ended up getting going under, like not under, but ended up getting indebted to these mobsters. And the last time Bruce sees her, now they go through this amazing like love affair, and Bruce is like goes to the grave of his parents, right? Because he's made this vow that he's going to do this, and he doesn't feel like he can have this in his life and also keep his vow, you know, to...
He didn't count on being happy.
He didn't count on being happy.
That was actually a kind of tear-jerking moment, right?
That was really a tear-jerking moment, and
damn.
That is the acting of Kevin Conroy right there.
Yeah, dude, he freaking...
You can recite lines, but then are you reciting lines? You can recite lines, or are you acting them? And that was the difference between a lot of people and Kevin Conroy. Juilliard graduate, Kevin Conroy.
Did you say his roommate was Robin Williams?
His roommate was Robin Williams, y'all. I talk about that more if you go watch my cover challenge video. I talk a little bit more how he went to Juilliard, his roommate was Robin Williams, and he was in the same little traveling acting troupe out of school from, like, in school, okay? The in-school acting troupe that traveled is what I'm trying to say, as Robin Williams and Kelsey Grammer.
No shit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He is a classically trained actor. He had done Shakespeare on stage. He had done other dramatic works on stage before he even thought of being Batman.
Well, I'll tell you, I almost cried, so...
Yeah. And Andrea shows up and was like, maybe things are different now because I'm here. And he's all ready to... Give up Batman. Or give up his vow. Because he's not even Batman yet, guys. He's like not even Batman yet. He hasn't even figured out that he wants to be the Batman. He just knows he needs to look menacing and scary. He just doesn't know yet how yet. And so he decides, man, I'm going all in with this one. I'm gonna get married. And
Gives her a ring and everything.
Gives her a ring. They're going to, tell Papa, but Papa, when they get, and this is Andrea's parents, of course, because it's Bruce Wayne. Like, can't tell his Papa.
Wah, wah.
So they are all excited to tell Papa Beaumont that they are engaged to be married, and Bruce drops her off at the house, and when she gets there, there's a bunch of tough customers.
One looks a little familiar.
One looks very familiar, everybody, and that's going to be important later. He has a pointy nose. Very pointy nose, and a mouth on him. So Cat calls her when she walks in the door.
Yeah.
So it's looking pretty bad for Mr. Beaumont. Mr. Beaumont is basically being, put for the ringer. He's, you have to have the money tomorrow, or,
We're gonna kill you.
Gonna kill you, So they leave, and he's like, you gotta pack everything. We gotta go right now, because And she's like, well, why don't you just give him the money? It'll be fine. And he's like, no, you don't even understand. Like, it's not even liquid money. We don't have those kind, like, the assets are different, you know? And so what happens the next day is Alfred brings Bruce a note saying, I'm sorry, I can't, don't hate me. Basically, don't come looking for me. When I say I'm sorry, I can't, don't hate me, that's actually from Sex and the City. The Post-it note, if you are familiar. But nope. She doesn't give him a Post-it note. There's a little note attached to the ring, and it gets dropped off, and Alfred brings it to him. And it's at that moment that he decides, okay, I can go ahead and I can be this crime fighter. I can be vengeance. And It's when he discovers that he decides to be Batman. But what's happening in the present? That's basically, everything that happens in the past. He's left brokenhearted, and it sucks, right? So,
but in the present, fighting crime.
But he's in present fighting crime, and we have this new person that's making everyone think that Batman's now killing mobsters.
Yep.
And that would be the Phantasm. They refer to themselves as the Angel of Death, and they are on a roll.
They are.
And one of the mobsters realizes that the Phantasm is working its way back to him, and goes and tries to utilize the help and assistance of a former employee. This former employee, we told you about the guy with the pointy nose, is actually the Joker.
Played by
Mark Hamill. Of course. Wonderfully played by Mark Hamill. So Mark Hamill, as the Joker, y'all know the deal. He's just like the Joker, right? So he does things in the Joker way, right?
Yep.
So the Joker kills that guy, right? Then goes and attacks Arthur Reeves, because Arthur Reeves has something to do with everything, right? And what we don't know, but then we find out very quickly, is Arthur Reeves is in on everything. And what is he in on? Well, what you find out is that while Andrea is talking about how she's, with Papa, and Papa doesn't come with her, Papa's actually deceased.
Yeah.
He was actually killed by Jack. I'm assuming it's Jack Napier.
No, I don't think it was. I think he has a different name, but I don't know the exact name.
Okay, so the guy that the Joker was before he fell into the Ace Chemicals is the guy that went and carried out the hit on Andrea's father in I believe it was Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows that it's definitely not Mr. Beaumont that's the Phantasm. That is more than likely the woman, Andrea.
The daughter.
Yeah. He's figured it out right before everyone. Because he was there. He should know. Batman finds out after him.
Yep.
They do have interactions, Andrea and Bruce, in the present. And it's going to break your heart all over again, because you can tell he still has feelings for her, she still has feelings for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's, the one that got away kind of thing.
Until he meets the cat.
Until he meets Selena Kyle, which we'll talk about that in a moment. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. So the big showdown happens. The last person she's working her way back to is Mr. Joker.
Love that
Joker.
God, I could go for watching that.
So, stop the presses. Who is that? So she's worked her way back. The last one, as far as she knows, is the Joker. Okay? And that's going to be important in a moment. She's worked her way back to the Joker. As far as Batman is concerned, at first, there's an explosion. He doesn't even know if she survives. Okay? Until there's a locket left for him, and he knows. In the Batcave, he knows that she's still plugging around. And that's basically the end of the movie. Batman is left brokenhearted yet once again.
It's just he can't. Oh, that guy.
He can't keep it together.
He's pretty damaged, man.
It's the one. It's the age old Batman thing, especially age old, like as in from that time period on, of the idea that if Batman were happy, he couldn't be Batman anymore. Which is exactly the reason Selena Kyle ended up not marrying him in the comics, in Tom King's run. Because she was convinced by the Joker and a couple other people around her that if she married Bruce Wayne, he would no longer have a reason to be Batman. And she couldn't do that to the world. So it is another version of that. In fact, I wonder if Tom King was inspired by
maybe
the story of Andrea Beaumont, because
he does use the Phantasm in his comic.
So before he even does that, there is a direct comic sequel to Mask of the Phantasm.
Did you read it?
I did.
Was it good?
It was good.
Cool.
I mean, it's a cartoon, and it's a comic book based on a cartoon. So it is one of those things where it'd be all ages. It is the issue is Batman and Robin Adventures, annual number 1. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the dealio. Okay. The Phantasm does find out that Arthur Reeves sold out her father. Okay? So she comes back. Arthur Reeves was treated for being exposed to the Joker toxin, but supposedly they thought he was okay now. He's not. And he has those problems related to the whole laughing, smiling Joker toxin thing. And it's not good, right? So basically the whole thing is she's come back to clear up that last bit. She explains what happened at the end of, after the end of the Mask of the Phantasm. And she's there to clear up that last thing. And, of course, Batman is involved. At the end of the comic, she does a swan dive with Arthur Reeves out a window. I believe, if I remember correctly, there's an explosion. There usually is. But anyways, there's a fall. She makes it so that Arthur Reeves is dead on the ground.
Really?
And all that you see of her is the cloak and her mask. No body. So you know she made it out. Okay? And that's basically it. That's the rest of it. There are other comics that she has been in. That the Phantasm has been in. There's Batman Adventures comic that, oh golly, I think it's 7.
Mm-hmm.
Batman Adventures 7, where it is a Batgirl-centric tale. It does involve Batman, but it's a Batgirl-centric tale. And then you have the second part of that, which is Batman Adventures number 8, where I started reading that and I didn't get to finish it.
Oh, well, we'll know next time then.
Yeah. Another comic that she's in is Batman Beyond 2.0. Batman Beyond 2.0. There is a 7-issue arc involving Andrea Beaumont and the Phantasm.
I want to read that.
Yes. Now, most recently, Andrea Beaumont has been a character in Tom Kane's Batman Catwoman
Black Label stuff.
Black Label
We
run.
gotta read that.
We do, and it's told in 3 different time periods, and it's one of those things where Andrea Beaumont shows up because she's investigating the disappearance of her son, and she's also thinking that the Joker's involved. So obviously, we know the Phantasm and her history, but also because of that whole unrequited, former love affair, it's actually someone that kind of steps in and threatens the relationship between Selena and Bruce. So that's where Andrea comes in to that. But yeah, so Mask of the Phantasm, enthusiastic thumbs up from me.
I loved it.
Yeah. Kevin Conroy not only voiced the Batman and Bruce Wayne, but he acted Batman and Bruce Wayne.
He was Batman and Bruce Wayne.
He is Batman and Bruce Wayne to so many of us, above Keaton, above Bale, above any of them.
Yeah. Even
He is like right away, like when we heard the news, like we were both like, that's the voice we hear.
In my head, when I'm reading comic books, that is absolutely how I hear Batman.
And that's absolutely how I hear Bruce Wayne. Because he has 2 different voices.
Yep.
It's 2 different voices for Batman, Bruce Wayne. If you are listening to this here and you're like, wait, really? Go back and watch an episode that has both Batman and Bruce Wayne of the animated series, and you'll see it. Well, you'll hear it. And it's just, it's magic. It's magic. It sounds so trite to say it's just magic but it is. It is. So, from these two geeks to everyone out there, we love Kevin Conroy.
We do. And Jonah Hex.
And Jonah Hex.
She not so much. Me, yes.
I love that you love it, sweetie. I love that you love it. So, that's it for now. We are going to be out of town next week, but we would love to possibly do a show. So we're kind of up in the air on exactly what we're going to do at this point. So watch social medias and we'll let you know, so that, you can follow along if you want.
I'm up for doing a show in Indy.
Yeah, we're going to be in Indianapolis. Okay, so we're going to be visiting some friends in Indianapolis, and I would love to possibly, because of the place where we're going to be, I'm going to say this, and I haven't actually discussed this with you yet. I would love to do a show talking about gaming.
Okay.
I would love to do that. So I want to see if they're up for being recorded and being involved in this, because literally we're going to be in the house of a man that is probably a walking, talking dictionary of Dungeons and Dragons.
He's an encyclopedia of role-playing games.
Encyclopedia of role-playing games. Specifically, if you can major in role-playing games, he has a PhD in D&D. Okay? I would love to do something where even if we just sit there and talk about the finer points of building a character or something like that. So, but that is just the idea I'm working with. It's not for sure yet. We got to see if they're into the idea, and we'll let you guys know. Okay? But anyways, I'm going to go and Joe's going to go. If you want to find us on social media, you know where to find us. At Carrie Q Author on Twitter, at Fet Bizarro on Twitter for Joe, at Bizarro Fet on Instagram, though he's hardly on it, guys. And
I posted on there today.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Posted some Jonah Hex stuff.
Well, you know what? You used your platform, sir. Congratulations.
I did it.
And I, of course, on Instagram at officially unofficial geek, because I'm the geek. So is he. And anyways, guys, we'll be seeing you guys